Welcome to WashU Mars presents Suspicious Mail. Suspicious mail and packages can be extremely dangerous. That's why it's so important for you to be able to recognize suspicious mail and packages. You also need to know what to do once you have identified a package or piece of mail that may be suspicious. We're going to talk about the characteristics of suspicious mail, the shape of it, the look of it, what the address might look like, packaging. When we talk about the shape of a suspicious package, we're talking about something that might be lumpy or abnormally shaped. Is it rigid or bulky, lopsided or uneven? These are all important traits to recognize in a suspicious package. We're also going to talk about the look of the package. Are there oil stains, discoloration, maybe crystals on the wrapper? Does it have a strange odor? Do you see wires or an unknown powder or substance? When we're looking at the address, is there a return address? Are there restrictive markings such as confidential or personal? Are there misspelled words? Is it addressed to a title rather than an individual? Is it a correct title? Is it a title that we even use here? Is it poorly typed or written? These are all cause for concern. We're going to look at the packaging. Is it sealed with tape when maybe it shouldn't be? Is there excessive tape or excessive postage? Again, one of these things might not seem out of place, but when you start to add everything together, it starts to look suspicious. Now that you know how to identify a suspicious package, what's next? What do? Your best course of action is to remember package, people, and plan. The 3 Ps. Package. Once you've identified a suspicious package, do not handle it. Leave it where it is, isolate the area. Don't try to clean it up, move it, leave everything right where it is. Make a mental note of any useful information. What size was it? What did the address look like? Next, we're going to protect our people. We're going to clear the area. We're going to inform employees what's going on, tell them to stay out of the area, notify the supervisor immediately. All employees who are working in that area need to wash their hands immediately. Even if they weren't handling the package that's suspicious, they may have handled packages that contained residue from that package that might have leaked out. We're going to cordon off the areas, turn off fans and air conditioners so that any residue isn't blown around. Know the plan. Contact your supervisor. Who are you going to contact in the case of an emergency? If for some reason that person's not available, who is your next point of contact? Follow the emergency plan. Make sure you know all of these things in advance. Know where the building's designated evacuation area is. Go there. Wait for emergency responders. Follow all emergency responder instructions. In the case of smokes, fumes, or vapors, call emergency first. Then notify your supervisor as you head out to the emergency evacuation assembly area. Again, know where these areas are before something happens. Notify your team members. Make sure everyone is accounted for. Now you have all the information you need on how to identify a package and what to do once you've identified a package. Now let's recap. First, let's talk about the shape of a package. What are we looking for when we talk about shape? That's right, we want to know if it's lopsided or uneven. Is it rigid or bulky? These are all things we should be looking for. What about the look of a package? What are we looking for there? That's right, do you see protruding wires? Is there a strange odor? What about powders or unknown substances? Are there oil stains or discoloration? These are all things that would be cause for concern. What about the address? What are we looking for there? And then address. Is there a return address? Are there restrictive markings, open only by the chancellor, confidential, personal? Is it addressed to a title rather than an individual? Is it poorly addressed, poorly written, poorly typed? Is the title even a correct title that we would use here at Washington University? Now what about packaging? What are some characteristics of the packaging that might be suspicious? When it comes to packaging, is it sealed with tape? Is excessive tape used? What about excessive postage? Again, remember, one or two of these things might not be suspicious, but when you start to add them all together, they become suspicious and worth investigating. Now let's recap how to handle a suspicious package. We're going to remember the 3 P's: package, people, and plan. Let's address package first. When we talk about package, what do we want to remember? Package. Package means do not handle the package or letter. Leave it where it is. Isolate the area. Don't clean up any residue or anything like that. Make mental notes about what the package looks like, anything weird about the address that might help. Even take a picture before you leave the area. We're going to talk about people. What are we going to do to protect our people? Protecting our people is so important. We're going to clear the area. We're going to let people know what's going on so they stay away. Notify the supervisor immediately. We're going to make sure anyone who is in the area has washed their hands because they might have been exposed to dust or residue that fell out onto other packages. Make sure the area is cordoned off. Again, you're going to turn off any fans or air conditioning that might blow any residue around. Plan. What do we want to talk about when we talk about our plan? Plan. Make sure you know your plan well ahead of time. Who are you going to contact in an emergency situation? Who's your backup contact if you can't find them? Evacuation assembly area. Make sure you know all of these things before an emergency happens. Fumes, smokes, and vapors. It's so important if one of these things happen that you respond quickly and efficiently. Notify emergency responders, then notify your supervisor. Make sure everyone is out and they're at the evacuation point. Account for all employees that weren't in the area. Make sure everyone is accounted for. Thank you for joining us for our safety talk on suspicious mail. I hope you found it informative and helpful. Again, don't forget to ask for a second opinion if you have any doubts about whether something's suspicious. Always investigate your emergency plan before an emergency happens. Be sure to know where to go, who to call.